Choose to not test that because most organizations, most developers' approach to testing is quite ad hoc. Oh, I think I should have a test case because it seems to make sense, and it's really no more than that, okay? And so the whole point here becomes, since the decision has to be made and you're making it implicitly, why don't we make it explicitly? Why don't we make it a conscious, deliberate, intelligent decision?
Mm-hmm.
And so the core idea here is what we want to do is to focus our limited testing resources where they're going to do us the most good. So you can really wrap this up in a nutshell by saying that code which is most likely to be broken and would cause the most pain if it's broken should deserve the most focus in our testing. Okay, and so that's basically the top level idea.
I think one of the things you're making really important here is to make it explicit. And what most people do, and what I've seen in testing, is they test things like, oh, yeah, that's burned us before, let's do that. But also, what is easy to test seems to be a
Right.
really big driver of what the test cases are. And how do we know how to test something? I'm astounded when there's a clear requirement, like one of our favorites, Steve, if you recall, is the AT&T switching system should have no more than 1 hour of downtime for every 4 years of operation. And they said that can't be a requirement because we can't test it, right? And so there's this also weird combination between what they think is easily executable tests versus gathering evidence, which is another sort of thing on this. But often what they do to test, what people test is what is easy to test, what is clearly something we can test pretty simply and easily, and that drives a lot of decision rather than being explicit and saying we need to make clear choices based upon some other criteria than what is easy. And I think this is where I'd like you to jump in on risk management.
Right. Yeah. And we'll circle back on this later. It's also dependent on the concept of test coverage. Basically, test adequacy criteria. How do I know that some set of test cases are adequate with respect to some criterion? A very common one that developers would understand is the idea of statement coverage. Do my test cases actually execute every single line of code?